everybody, it's Robo. Actually just here for a quick video to follow up to my Battlefield Vegas video that I posted last week. Since you guys didn't really get to see the end result of the rounds going down range, just due to camera positioning, I thought I'd make a quick video to talk about my targets. Check it out. Again, awesome experience. I totally recommend it. Anybody who's looking to attend a public range just for fun, maybe shoot some weapons you don't have access to, have never shot before. Again, it's expensive for what you get, but it's the experience you're buying into. So you guys would have seen me shoot a few guns actually while I was at Battlefield last week. Now, just again, like I'd mentioned in the intro, due to the camera angling, facing towards me, you didn't really get to see the effect on target with the rounds going down range. Now I was supposed to have an actual photographer there with me, or someone to help me out and do some of the filming, so I had to compromise, get a different couple angles here. But first weapon you would have saw me shoot was actually the Colt M4. As you can see, pretty tight groupings in the center. All the distances used for these targets for the long weapons was about 20 yards. Pistol, the G17, was actually relatively the same. Might have been a bit shorter, in around 12 to 15 yards, but it was pretty darn close. Now in terms of headshots, I wasn't really pushing the headshots just based on how the targets were laid out, but hand any kind of North American male firearm of some sort, a target with a head on it, and you'll probably try to shoot at it, so that's what I did. So as you can see here too, again, some okay groupings up in the head area, nothing too crazy. Now the second rifle I got to shoot, and I really enjoyed shooting this rifle, was the Remington ACR. You guys maybe have known it in the past by its alternate development name, the Magpul Masada. Now Magpul obviously doesn't own the rights to that weapon anymore. It's been sold off to Remington a long time ago, to where its new name was transformed into the Remington ACR, which we all now hear, or the Adaptive Combat Rifle. Now within that, what I really liked about it was actually just how smooth and flat it shot. The recoil dynamics on it was almost straight back into the shoulder, not a lot of muzzle rise or even sway in the retort from the recoil. And as you can see, that kind of paid off. Nice tight groupings here in the center. A few awkward ones over here. I did try to pick up the pace while shooting the ACR. A little bit more than the M4, just for experimentation. I don't get to shoot real firearms as often as I'd like, so when I do, I like to experiment a little bit. And as for headshots on this 4-target here, I didn't really spend too much time shooting headshots with the ACR. I was more going for speed and center of mass, again, just to see what the gun would do. This target is the target from everybody's favorite Russian classic assault rifle, the AK47. Now in this target, you're going to see a little bit more variance in the groupings, because this, out of all the other rifles I shot at Battlefield Vegas, I let go off on a little bit of a burst mode adventure. I mean full auto, but burst mode with the trigger control. So with that said, you do see a little bit more variance in just exactly how far out our maximum sort of grouping gets there. And that's just because, again, gun starts to get away from you on full auto. Now I did find setting a proper base on the lower half of the body and really leaning into the weapon helped out a lot when doing burst mode, just due to the larger caliber of bullet, obviously. What about headshots? Yep, still doing the whole headshot thing. Again, even though the target wasn't really marked for headshots, it's more of a qualifying target rather than marksmanship. I still wanted to go to town on the head. I seem to be really wanting to shoot the head sometimes with firearms. Now I do get a huge miss on this one out here, or the right ear of the target, my left side of their ear. And that's, again, just I was firing on burst mode, letting the gun go crazy. Control gets away from me a little bit. But yeah, that's the AK-47. If you notice, holes are actually much larger than what you probably saw on the M4 and ACR, and that's obvious. We're shooting a 7.62 round rather than a 5.56. This target is actually from the last weapon I shot, the last long weapon anyways that I shot at Battlefield, and it was the HK416, popular variant of the M4 family. Not a direct lineage, obviously, because it's made by H&K, but was made to kind of build upon the M4 and primarily the gas system. Also really enjoyed this gun. It has a flat shooting profile, kind of like the ACR, a little bit more kick. at least noticeable kick from the variant that I shot, but still really smooth, allowed for really fast follow-up shots, and still retained a lot of accuracy on those follow-up shots too. Now on this target, you're going to actually see something a little bit different than the other ones if you were to go back. Still a nice tight grouping, little bit of variance. I was shooting pretty quick at times. If you go back to the video and take a look, I do kind of pick up the pacing a little bit, so a little bit of spread in the grouping there. That's all seems normal here until, what the heck is happening here? As you can see, I've totally brutally missed there. I basically scalped the guy on one and completely missed the head on the others. On the 416, I was actually using a different optic than the other, a couple of the other weapons. So on the M4 and the ACR, it was a magnified ACOG. On this weapon, for example, it's actually switched to an aim point variant. I can't remember what aim point variant it was. I'd have to go actually look it up to get the exact model number for you. No, it wasn't a micro. No, it wasn't an M2. So what ended up happening with this is that it was zeroed for a different distance, and my holds, while pretty centered, and I'd gotten used to it with the other weapons in the ACR and the M4, the 416 actually ended up holding, where I was holding ended up shooting higher than what I was believing. So I was actually holding too high for this optic. So you can actually see that my center mass shots are actually shifted up, and the same thing that actually happened with the head. Now again, I'm no marksman. I don't shoot regularly enough to really be an expert here. This just goes to show, know your weapon, know your optics, have everything zeroed, know exactly where your projectiles are going to go when you send them down range. You know, in a real world scenario, that becomes very important, because these shots end up killing innocent people. All right, and the final target of my adventure to Battlefield Vegas is actually for the Glock 17. I'd save the pistol last just because I really do like shooting handguns, and again, don't have access to a lot of them up here in Canada to shoot them as often as I would like. As you can see, the spread on the groupings here is a little bit wider than what you were seeing in my rifles. I was shooting at approximately the same distance as the rifles with the pistol here, maybe a squeak up between 12 and 15 yards rather than a straight 20, but still 30, 45 foot shot. Now, I wasn't really going for marksmanship. I was more just trying to see what I could do with follow-up shots, so my pacing was a little bit higher than what I would regularly probably shoot at this distance with a pistol, and as a result, you see a bit more of a spread in the groupings. Still pretty center of mass, but again, you get some of that spread, a little bit of an armpit shot here and a shoulder shot here, and those are starting to get away from you. And if you're in a real world scenario, those are starting to get away and become dangerous shots. Again, not that I'm any expert, but just from what I learned. And again, in terms of headshots, as I stick my finger through that hole, not as many, and again, I was going at the same pacing, so you do start to see some of these shots get away from me a bit, and that's just based on the rapid shots of my follow-ups. Would you want to do that out on the street in a defensive scenario? Probably not. Again, I'm no expert. If it was life and death, I guess you do whatever you need to do, but these shots in terms of law enforcement and stuff start to become dangerous shots to take in public, obviously. I was safely in a range, shooting one direction with no living beings around it, so I can miss all I want on here. That being said, it's not optimal to miss that much. So yeah, that was the G17. So there you have it. Those are the targets I actually shot while I was down at Battlefield Vegas. Just want to take a couple minutes to show you those, show you the effect on target that you didn't get to see in the original video itself, just due to camera angles. With that being said, with the launch of my YouTube channel here, in the next little while, I'm actually going to be doing a bunch of reviews and posting gameplay footage, all the stuff you guys have kind of expected me from my Instagram channel, as well as my team's YouTube channel, the Airsoft Operators. With that in mind, over the next few weeks, I'm actually going to be sitting down and finally getting to review these pants, the Vertex Cryptic Typhon tactical pants, which I'd worn a couple months ago to an op, and I hadn't gotten a chance to actually review these yet. A bunch of you guys have actually asked me that. Of course, I will be getting to review my Faro Concepts FCPC Generation 4. Yes, in this variant, it's integrated with my D3 chest rig, which I will also review as a standalone as well as an integrated piece into this armor rig. And for those of you who have been kind of keeping watch with my product partnership with Line Defense, these guys went ahead and made me a custom holster for my sidearms and really gave me the Rockstar treatment, laser engraved my logo onto the Kydex itself. So I'll actually be taking a look at this Kydex holster. I got time to field test it over the weekend. It was awesome, but we'll get into more details in the next upcoming weeks with a review of that. And with that in mind, I mean, if there's any of my kit that you guys want me to review and I haven't gotten a chance to do so yet, since I haven't done any reviews yet, please just let me know in the comments. Shoot me a message, hit me up on Instagram, Robo-Murray on Instagram, and I'd love to cover anything you guys want me to cover, put in my semi-airsoft based expertise in this and the use of these items. Some exciting news on that one, and it's just a teaser right now. I can't tell you any specifics, but I have actually entered a partnership with a company, a very well-known company, to be an official reviewer of their products. It's a company that actually I've already used a lot of their products. I already love them. Am I going to give honest reviews? Of course. I want to give the good and the bad, but big news coming up on that one. So you'll be seeing a lot more out of me in terms of that partnership and those items. And I know I'm not giving a lot of information just yet, but that's just the way it's going to have to be. Plus, humans love a mystery, and this mystery will have to rage on for a little bit longer. But no, awesome stuff is coming in terms of reviews. I do have some gameplay footage from this last weekend to show off as well. Hopefully I'll get to editing that over the next couple days so I can post it this week for you. I do want to get on a regular schedule with these videos too, so look out for a schedule coming up. Just got to figure it out, see what my current work schedule allows for to add more media kind of editing to my life here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just a quick one to show you the targets I shot at Battlefield Vegas and to talk about some upcoming reviews and exciting things going on in my life. So until next time, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to talk about my beard, you want to make its eagle get even larger than it is, just leave them in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram at Robo-Murray. And be sure to tune in for all the cool, fun stuff coming up. Subscribe, like, share with all your friends, all that craziness. And until next time, keep playing airsoft, being good community members, and having fun. Later, guys.